What up, y'all? It's your boy Crook the Barber. I'm here with my boy
Eber the Barber, and we're here with
JV the Barber.
Yo, so what's up, man? Just let us know a little bit about yourself. You know, what made you become a barber?
So first of all, my name is Jose. I go by JV the Barber. What made me become a barber was becoming my own boss, handling my own hours, making as much money as I wanted to. And I seen the industry of barbering has changed a lot. Now barbers have more doors, more open doors, more opportunities, and you could use barbering as a way to do something else or invest in other
Facts.
things. And I really like that part about this industry. On top of that, I love cutting hair and I love talking to different people, and that's pretty much it.
That's cool, bro. Hell yeah, man. What's your favorite part about like everything?
Giving people advice, meeting new people, making people look good for special occasions like birthdays, graduations, weddings, just special occasions, helping them getting their confidence up.
What's your least favorite thing about this industry?
My least favorite thing will be...
Put you on the spot, huh?
Yeah. My least favorite thing will be not so much humble people, you know?
Okay. Within like barbers or as in like clientele?
More like clientele with like just like any customer service. You could be humble, you could be professional, you could be the most respectful person, but at the end of the day, you will bump heads with somebody, or they would be kind of rude and not appreciate your work.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of got to learn to deal with those type of things professionally.
Yeah, okay.
So it kind of gets overwhelming to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to have the mind for it.
And you got to kind of sometimes bite your tongue too, because it's like you're in a professional environment. It's like,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes,
can't
sir.
tell them like, yo, you know, fuck off. You know, you got to be like, hey, look, you know,
Yeah.
you got to keep it cool, calm, collective, and professional. So, I mean, it's true. What's some advice that you could give to upcoming barbers?
Advice that I would give would be confident in yourself, trust the process. Don't give up if you do a bad haircut. Don't give up if you have a bad day. Don't walk away. Everything takes work with everything that you do, every career that you do and you choose to do. There's always a rainbow after the storm. So you have to stay hustling. You have to stay focused. You have to believe in yourself, because sometimes other people won't believe in you, and you have to kind of rely on your own self, basically.
Woo-hoo, real motivator right here, huh? That's right. Hell yeah. No, yeah, I appreciate you, you know, letting everybody know like your story, you know, a little bit about yourself so they could understand like who you are. Is there anything else like you would like to add? Or
For example, when I first started to cut hair, I was in this barber shop. I was still learning how to cut hair, and that day we were booked up at the shop, and I was very overwhelmed. So what happened was I had a client sit in my chair, and I was 5 minutes into the cut when I realized I didn't put the cape on him. So it was a really embarrassing, you know, hard experience for me.
Yeah.
But I learned to get through that. You know, things happen, and yeah, you will have those hard days, those confusing days.
Yeah.
But the only thing I would say is, yeah, stay motivated. You know, don't let things bring you down.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Also, too, one thing about that I feel like is, bro, I feel like a lot of barbers do that, bro. Like the whole cape situation, you know?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know if you have like done this
Oh,
too,
yeah,
right?
for
So
sure.
my story with that is, bro, first shop I was at, bro, this first week, I was like, you know, I was nervous, dog. Like it was my first shop I ever been at, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm over here like, okay, what do you want to get? You know? And then I'm like, all right, cool. Trip out. I put on the Sanic strip.
Yeah.
But I don't put the cape on. I don't even realize this. And I'm over here like, bro, like I'm just like, this fade better come out fresh, bro. Like, you know, and then like I want to say 2-3 minutes into the haircut, he was like, oh, you guys don't put on capes here? And I was like,
Facts.
oh shoot, my bad. You know, I was like, bro, that even got me more nervous, bro. And I was
Yes,
like, damn.
sir.
So I mean, I feel like a lot of barbers go through that. You know, have you done it?
I did a similar situation that happened to me. I'm always like fast paced, so like, I mean, kind of same situation, but I put the cape on them, and then I go try to get the Sanex, but I get my machine instead, and I go straight in for the zero, like straight zero fade.
Damn.
So, I mean, it happens, you know. Sometimes
Was this recently though? Like
this happens all the time actually.
you still do it. You still do it. Oh damn.
But I feel like, you know, it's just, I feel like you have those days sometimes where it's not going right. It's not going right, and you're trying to get yourself together. But I feel like every client just makes all your situations that much better. Just
Yeah.
because it releases a lot of your stress. So I kind of feel what you were saying, you know, about how you feel with, you know, your clients, and how sometimes you can't talk about certain things to your clients because you need to be like a yes man. You need to be like, yes, boss, you know, have that customer service.
I mean, I wouldn't say yes, man, you know, because over here, customers ain't always right. You know, I don't know. I'm saying it for me personally.
The right thing will be try to be the most professional as possible.
Keep it professional.
Give a humble service
Yeah.
and make them comfortable so they could be able to come back.
No, yeah,
You know?
but client's not always right.
And then another thing, I feel like when you're on hustle mode and the customer tells you, hey, give me a 2 on the side. Since we're used to giving face, sometimes we start out with that ball line, and you can make that mistake as well if you're a little too nervous or too hyped up with that Celsius.
Bro, that Celsius be having me tweaked up, bro, because I don't drink caffeine, fool. So when I drink a Celsius, I mean, Eber has seen, bro, like I be over here like yappity yap, like a whole yappuccino, bro. Like nobody ordered a yappuccino, you know, like.
That's you need that happens, though. You need 2 Celsius sometimes on a Friday.
2?
Or a Saturday. On a Friday, Saturday, sometimes it gets a little crazy.
2?
I've done it before.
Damn. Boy was jumping off the walls like a chinchilla.
I'm a caffeine addict.
Caffeine slut, huh?
One of our. It's just one of our, you know, habits, you know, that we have, you know. Sometimes as a barber, you know, I remember sometimes I've been cutting for 12 years, so that them munchies, they be hidden, you know, like you be overweight, you know, sometimes. Just, like this is a couple years back, right? But you know, I remember letting my health go, you know, just eating like after work, like, oh, what we gonna eat, you know?
What we gonna eat at?
And it catches up to you, you know. But as long as you keep that mentality, you know, you start hitting the gym and you hit the weights to release that energy, and, you know, you'll be fine. But yeah, that caffeine, I can't get rid of that. I love it.
I just be raw dogging life,
yes, sir.
I just be raw dogging it, you know. I don't know. I never got into caffeine, so it's like, why start it now? You know, at this age, I'm 25 right now, so it's like, why would I get into it now? You know. So, but I mean, I feel it. Some people need it, you know.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
kind of like I wanted to say something about the whole yes man thing. It's not like you're a yes man, but like I feel like, I don't know if you feel the same way. Like you can't really talk about like political things in the shop and like stuff like that. And
as far as like,
because you're not always gonna be right with the client, right? Like you guys might bump heads, like political stuff, like, you know, the president, or, you know, that's like a touchy subject, right? Like, you can't just say, oh, I vote for this person, because somebody might, you know, or like religious things, right? Like you can't say that, but like that's what I feel like. Sometimes you can't tell people everything,
like do's and don'ts.
They're not as humble. They're not humble people, you know, kind of like what he was saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like that whole thing will be everybody has their personal opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever you may say may hurt the other person's feelings.
Yeah.
That may hurt the business. So it's always better to be professional and be smart with what comes out of your mouth, you know, as a barber.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I could agree with that, you know, but also I could say a lot of people nowadays are fucking soft.
Yeah.
Super soft. And it's like,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not trying to be messed up, but it's like grow some balls. You know,
we
you
should
can't
be able to talk about that. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, you know, everybody should be able to have their own opinion, and no one should get hurt about it.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, then you have clients not coming back to you, you know, or whatever.
Those clients was never meant for you.
People trying to cancel you on the internet. You know, people trying to always record, leave a bad review.
Bro, this cancel culture, man. Like, it's this new generation of canceling. Let's cancel this person. Let's cancel this person. Like, bro, have you noticed that comedy movies now suck?
Yeah.
You remember the like 2000s era, the 2010s era? The last good comedies was like Seth Rogen, James Franco, like all these fools, bro. Those raunchy, like crazy, like comedy, bro. Those things were comedy, bro. They would say crazy jokes. Nobody would get offended. And now all of a sudden, you've noticed that comedy has digressed. And now you notice that like comedy movies have like fallen, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like they suck now. Like I don't even want to watch a comedy movie no more because it's like, it ain't funny.
Even raps, movies, you know, etc. Because everybody's so scared to speak their mind because everybody's so soft. You know, you can't speak your mind nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their feelings hurt, you know? And I feel like those type of people like to say their opinion, but they don't like it when you say yours.
Bro,
you know what
facts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like, bro, just sit down. Sit down, bro. Like,
You were surprised.
yeah, bro. I mean, it's crazy this day and age. You know, you don't.
You go with the Celsius.
Let's see. Hold on. This man had to get
Addiction.
up to get a Celsius. No. Show the camera your addiction. You know.
There you go.
We drinking caffeine. What is this? How many?
Drink caffeine,
Milligrams.
not lean.
200 milligrams of caffeine. That's not bad. So 2 of them is 400.
That's still
Sheesh.
geeked out, bro.
Super geek, but
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy day and age. People, I mean, I feel like men are being raised to be soft now too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're being raised by soft dads.
Not only that, there's a lot of men that are losing their masculinity. You know, they're becoming more feminine, and women nowadays they're becoming more masculine, which makes the man become more feminine.
Yeah.
People don't want to talk about those type of things. You
No,
know,
it's true. It's true. I think I forgot the dude's name. The dude that played Falcon in the Marvel movies.
damn.
I forgot his name, but you know, I'll put his face right here. But
Yeah.
so he spoke out about something about that, about the like people losing their masculinity now, and he was teaching his sons how to be masculine.
yeah.
He got a lot of backlash for that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he said something like masculinity in America is dead now, but he still tries to instill that in his kids. I don't see nothing wrong with that, bro. Like you're a man, be a man.
Yeah.
You know, tears and stuff like that is cool. Everybody has tears, bro. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it just shows you're more in touch with your feelings or whatever. But we more logical, bro. We don't really rely on feelings. We rely on logic.
Yes, sir. Common sense.
Common sense, results. You know, if you're focusing on, oh, my life is so bad, blah, blah. Like I say, buck up or shut the fuck up.
Yes, sir.
Because at the end of the day, nobody cares, dog.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your feelings. The only person that's gonna save you is yourself. So stop relying on other people to fucking save you.
Mm-hmm.
Be a man, bro. Because at the end of the day, you got you.
A good book to read is The Way of the Superior Man. Put it down right here.
I gotta check
It's a
that out.
good book. Get your masculinity back.
Nah, facts,
like
man,
that.
facts.
I follow a lot of entrepreneurs, but one guy that I know teaches that is Andrew Tate. He always, some of the things
And he gets a lot of hate.
he gets a lot of hate, but I feel like he does say a lot of things that's out of pocket, but a lot of the things he does say is about masculinity. He how he will never raise his kids, a certain way. Just normal man stuff that he just got imprinted from his dad, and he's now his dad's passed away, but he keeps that tradition going. Just not trying to lose that masculinity and teaching others too. So I think that's pretty strong,
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, nowadays people don't want to hit their kids.
I remember I got beat, but hey.
I used to
I
get
think we all
spanked,
got
bro.
beat.
Yeah, I used to get spanked. I mean, I deserved it, bro. Sometimes I was bad, bro. And I mean, I feel like that brought me up good. I'm not disrespectful. I respect my peers, my elders, stuff like that. I was instilled with respect. And I was taught that. A lot of kids now, if you notice, they don't have respect. You notice when we were growing up, our parents always told us, look a person in their eyes when you speak to them. Give them that respect.
Yeah.
And we knew how to talk.
They don't even look in the eye. They don't even look you in the eye.
And they don't know how to talk, bro.
Yeah.
You ask them a question? Yes. No.
Well, because they're just on their iPad, it's an addiction,
Yeah.
We're on our phones all the time, so imagine a kid that doesn't know anything.
And that's the most crucial time. A kid growing up, their brain is still developing. They don't need to be on the screen. I didn't get no smartphone until I worked for it and paid it for myself.
I feel like
Back
it's a
then you had to
generation,
earn
though.
things.
Yeah.
It's a generation for sure, though.
Well, it's because we got kids raising kids. Kids having kids. And it's like something gotta stop. I don't think it will.
I just think it's not enough attention. Really, I mean, it's not kids having kids. That too, right? But you're not putting no attention to your kids. So
yeah, they want to drop them off with they want to not drop them off, but Most of them, they want to just have their parents take care of them.
Yeah.
And then they want to go out and party, go to the club.
Exactly.
Man, take care of your damn kids.
I also
you know?
feel like social media has a big part of it, because just like there's people posting good content in social media, there's also people posting bad content, brainwashing the brains
true.
of the young people. You know what I mean? So masculinity nowadays is looked at as toxic. You know what I mean? Spanking your kids, like you said, is looked at as child abuse. So they actually abuse these words to make an excuse for themselves. And I feel like that's what it is right now.
But people like seeing that though. People like toxic. People like to see people get hit.
Bro, people love seeing chaos, bro. It's crazy.
You could see a couple just arguing toxic shit, and they're like fucking got millions of views. I'm just like
Commenting, hey, let me know the cheese man, you know?
Yeah.
Post part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Type stuff.
And I think the thing about it is it's all about comparing. People like comparing. And that's like the destruction to yourself. You can't compare yourself to anybody else. Everybody's different. But you know, this day and age, there's a bunch of sheep. There's no wolves, bro. And what I mean by that, wolves are leaders. Sheep are followers. Everybody wants to follow. Nobody wants to lead.
I heard this saying that I don't know how it goes, but comparison kills though, for sure.
No, yeah.
Yes, sir. It makes you insecure.
It does,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we got this person want to be this person. This person want to be him or her or whatever. And bro, like, focus on yourself. That person had to go through something to get to where they're at. Make your own struggle. Stop trying to copy someone else's struggle, you know?
People are forgetting to be unique nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be themselves because they're embarrassed to show the real them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wanna be like society, and they want to be accepted by others instead of focusing on themselves and being themselves.
Yeah.
When you're actually like that, people like you more because you're genuine.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
that's true.
Don't fake the funk.
And you don't get a lot of that now. Genuine conversations. You don't get a lot of that, bro.
Yes, sir.
You don't hear anything unique anymore. And like you said, you know, people appreciate when they do get that because it's something new.
Something new, something real.
Yeah, it should always be like that, honestly. You know, you should always be able to take away something from every conversation. You know, I feel like a lot of people nowadays, like, they're only in it for a good time. And it's like, bro, fuck a good time, dog. Like, I want to be fucking filled with, like, knowledge, you know, how to progress in life. I don't want to know how much fucking shots you could take. If you could chug this bottle. I don't care about that, you know. I care about knowledge.
Yeah.
What can I feed you and what can you feed me? That's the most important thing.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like we all could learn off each other, you know. But if I can't learn from you, then I can't kick it with you.
Yeah.
That's just the fact of the matter, you know. And I feel like it should be like that all the time, you know. Like, change your surroundings, change your friends. You always told me that.
Yeah.
Like some homies, they can't help you. You know, they can't even help themselves.
They ain't your homies.
It's like that saying, tell me who you kick it with and I'll tell you who you are. You know what I mean?
And that's facts, bro.
The group that you surround yourself with, that's the type of mentality and the type of wisdom you'll get, you know?
Yeah.
Wisdom could be good, wisdom could be bad.
No, yeah. And like you said, that saying, it's like, you know, you kick it with bums, you are a bum. You might not be one, but that's how you're perceived to the world. Because you're with bums. You're going to be a bum, you know?
You're lowering yourself, you're lowering your values instead of growing.
Exactly, your values. I like that. You're lowering your values.
That's what a lot of people don't see. You know, a lot of people see, oh, he's drinking, oh, he got money, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, but people are forgetting about the actual value of a person, you know? And I think that's what people got to see nowadays.
Yeah. No, that's true, bro. That's true. All that drinking stuff, you know, I don't really care for it anymore. I'm not going to lie and sit here and be hypocritical and say, oh, I never was partying or stuff like that. I was in the past, you know, but I fell out of that rat trap, you know? I fell out of it. I was like, fuck am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Is this drinking going to get me far or whatever? No, it's not. So I chose, you know what? I'm going to let this go. Yeah, I got out of that rat trap, bro. It wasn't no good for me, and it wasn't good for people around me. You got to, like, look at yourself in the mirror sometimes and tell yourself, is this who I am and is this who I like? If your answer is no, then you got to do a deep dive inside yourself and change some things.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way to succeed and grow in life. Drinking ain't the answer. those problems gonna come right fucking back. They're gonna keep coming back and keep coming back. You can't find comfort in substances at all.
Yeah, a lot of times people feel that way. You know, they're having problems at work, problems at home, problems in their personal life, and they choose to go drink, they choose to do drugs. And by the time they realize it, they make the problem bigger and worse. You know what I'm saying? And it makes you have a different type of mentality. And when you do have substances in your body, like alcohol and drugs, it makes your intrusive thoughts worse. So it makes you move different, and it makes your decision making worse.
Yeah, I agree with
Hit
that.
it on the nose.
I agree with that 100%, bro. You know, and it's
What do you think about that, Eber?
No, I definitely think that, I mean, when you got alcohol in your system, you're a different person. And, you know,
just the devil in
a
you.
lot of the times, I read this thing that said, why do you think they call alcohol spirits? And they said, because it's bad spirits that are rolling through your body and
You're opening up a door, letting them in.
Letting them in, exactly. You know, they make you feel good for the moment, but like you said, the problems are gonna come right back, and it's just a potion for the moment to heal better at the moment. But
A potion for the motion.
in reality, you're gonna have intrusive thoughts, how you said, while you're drinking, and in reality, you're gonna be this person that you don't want to be, and you know, you gotta look yourself in the mirror, how you said, when you know, like next time you drink, like go get drunk, go look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, dude, is that really what you want? And you gonna fucking break down in fucking tears, because
No,
you know,
I wouldn't say when you're drunk, because you don't give a fuck when you're drunk. But
no, I know, but
that
I'm
next
saying,
morning,
yeah,
look at yourself in the mirror.
in the fucking mirror.
Yeah.
I feel like before you drink or before you decide to do anything bad, I feel like you should ask yourself, what is the results this is gonna give me further on? You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
And yeah, like he said, you know, the word alcohol, it kind of means like demon or whatever.
Yeah.
I do believe a lot of
Cool.
energy. So when you drink, your vibration, your energy is low. So you allow a lot of intrusive thoughts, a lot of bad energy into your body. So your decision making is off the charts, you know?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And when we're sober, we're able to control our intrusive thoughts because that's normal. It's normal for the human brain to think negative things just like positive things. But when you do put toxicity in your body, you don't know how to control that. You know, you kind of don't care.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's all right to drink, but if you're trying to be better, then because you know there's social drinkers, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
But they're only having like one or two.
No, exactly.
They're
That's
not
what I'm
getting
saying.
messed up.
But if you're trying to lock in and you really want to focus on your dreams, then alcohol, you got to cut it out your life for sure.
Oh, no,
I feel like if you're on your hustle, if you're doing good in life, if you're good with your kids, with your wife, with your brothers, with your sisters, with your parents, I feel like you do deserve a little drink if that's what you like, but you got to learn how to control it. So
control. That's all everything's about, bro. It's all about control.
minimize it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, me personally, I don't.
Balance.
Yeah, balance. I don't drink, bro. I mean, special occasions I will, you know, but like just to have a drink, I don't. Like,
Yeah, just
you
to
know?
celebrate, you know?
Yeah, like
Long day.
I just got I just got engaged.
Oh, there you go.
Congratulations,
So,
bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I just got engaged, bro, and yeah, we celebrated and everything with you know, with our family, and
That's
I had, you know, I had a couple
Shit-faced.
drinks, and I didn't get shit faced either, you know, but
I seen the videos.
I didn't get like shit faced or nothing, but I had drinks, you know, because
Yeah.
it was something to celebrate.
It's a
you
good
know, I
moment.
get it. Yeah, it's
Yes,
a good
sir.
moment, you know. I'm marrying my best friend, you know, love of my life. So it's like I felt like, okay, I could drink.
Yeah.
You know, I'm celebrating something. I'm celebrating life and love, you know.
Well, you were stressed out, I'm sure, before. So you needed that drink.
Bro, I was stressed. I just wanted everything to go perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I was stressed about. So I was like, man, like I hope everything's going perfect. Bro, I didn't go to the gym for a month. A month prior.
Should have hit the gym, would have been so stressed.
Bro, I had so much to do, bro. Like so much to balance out and try to like, you know, I had so much to do. I was stress eating, bro, that whole month. So I was like, damn, bro, like, but you know, it's all worth it. You know, I feel like it was all
You only
worth
do
it.
it one time.
Exactly. It's my first time, my last time, you know, I never done this before, you know. So it's like I didn't know how to go about it. I mean, I did it good though, you know, like did the whole scenery, photographer, you know, videographer, everything, you know.
That's fire.
And yeah, it was a happiest moment in my life. I don't regret any minute of it, and I'm happy for what the future brings. And I feel like, you know, the whole no drinking thing it's a good thing too to bring into a marriage.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's a very good thing because then you're not going in with habits, bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the future's gonna be bright, you know, and you just got to focus on things that you want to do in life. I feel like the people that are always drinking, getting messed up every week is like they don't have nothing going on for them. You got to find purpose. No one's gonna give you that purpose but yourself. Find purpose. That's what's gonna get you out like the whole trap. You know, be like, okay, is this gonna help me do this? Or is this going to help me do this? Is drinking going to help me get here? 100% is going to be an answer no. Yeah. You know, drinking is not going to get you anywhere.
Not only that, but you're harming your own body. You know, you're harming your health.
Oh, yeah.
So health is a very important thing.
You got one temple.
Exactly.
You got to feed your temple.
Yeah.
You got, you know, there's this, the saying YOLO, you only live once is a strong one, but
people take it for the wrong, though.
For the wrong, they want to go out and drink. Yeah. YOLO, you only live once, you know. But you only live once. That's deep, because you only got one body, you got one brain, you got, you know, one temple. So you gotta, you know, feed your temple the right things, right? They got all these.
You only live once, so you gotta take care of your body, because once you mess it up, it's only that one body. You know, if you drink and you decide to crash,
you can mess it up a little bit, you know, mess up
cool.
your body a little bit, but you know, get back to it, you know.
Don't try to mess up your body in the first place, though.
You know, we come from, you know, Mexican society, you know, so obviously, you know, the kitchen gonna be full with, you know, guanchas, some of the best foods, you know. So, but you know, you just gotta remain with a balance, and it'll be all good, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it is good to follow the culture, but sometimes the culture does have a lot of wrong things, you know, that we do follow. Yeah. And a lot of those things, you know, come with childhood traumas. And sometimes we do them as adults because we think it's okay. And we pass that trauma onto our marriage, onto our kids, you know. So we really have to visualize that.
Yeah, it's just about breaking generational curses, I would say, you know.
Yes, sir.
We all have the power to do it. Talking about Mexican, you know, heritage and culture, I wanted to speak on the whole ICE thing that's going on, bro. Honestly,
that's crazy.
What I feel about it is, yeah, bro, like it's sad, you know, like families are being ripped apart, you know, and the only thing that I have to say that I disagree with is the whole riots, bro.
Yeah.
Like they're only proving a point.
Yeah.
That we're dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
That we're dangerous. These people that are doing the looting, burning cars, they're the ones that are from here, born here.
Yeah.
So it's like, what help are you doing? I get it. People want to argue, oh, we're mad. Okay, yes, I get that. Well, you think trashing all this is going to help the cause?
Yeah.
You got to think of this not emotionally, but with logic. Do you think burning cars, throwing these rocks at cop cars and stuff like that is going to help the situation? No, it's going to make it worse for the Mexican heritage, the culture.
I do agree with that, because that's the image they want to put on us. You know, they're savages. You know, they're dirty. They're this. They're that. They're only here to, you know, sell drugs and do this. So I do feel like some people are giving a bad image. I feel like I do agree, and I do think we should have a peaceful protest. You know, and yeah, what would your opinion be?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a lot of protests going on right now, like everywhere, like all over the world, like, well, in the U.S., of course. But
mostly in the West Coast right now.
West Coast, yeah, it's going pretty crazy. You know, you got San Diego, you got Dallas, you got all of these places, and now it's hitting home. You know, so that's how I feel like it's definitely not the right thing to do to riot, but we've fallen into their trap for sure. I feel, you know, but yeah, I'm all for the peaceful protests. Like, you know, just yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You know, families getting ripped apart, and I feel like that's kind of like where it hits home, you know, because, you know, a lot of our parents are Mexican, and, you know, for us to be, you know, second generation here is like, you know, what's going to be for the future, right? If this goes bad,
Yeah.
which, you know, it's already going bad because of all the riots and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard not to think about the future, like how it would be like for our kids,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
they're going to go through the same thing we're going through. And if not, it's going to be even more crazier down the line, you know? So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely good to talk about it. It's definitely good to, you know, try to plan something out, you know, with the people and stuff like that. But a lot of people are scared to go outside right now, man. It's crazy. And then
I do disagree with that kidnapping, you know, with the taking away people from their families that are working hard, you know, instead of going for the actual bad people, they're going for the humble people, the people that want to better their lives, you know, that came here for the American dream. So all of those things that they're doing, of course, you know, I'm a little upset about that because I'm Mexican and, you know, our Hispanic people are suffering right now a lot. And that's the only thing I disagree with. You know, it's kind of unfair that they're taking away humble people, good people, and they're not really going after the bad ones. You know, the bad ones are actually causing the bad riots. You know, the burning, the tagging on the walls, all that.
It's sad, bro. Like you said, they're taking away like families, people that are here to actually work and be peaceful. When they said that they're gonna take away, you know, the criminals and everything, they're not doing that, bro. They're taking away, you know, the raza, you know, the ones that are actually here to work, be peaceful, provide for their family. They're doing the complete opposite that they said that they're gonna do, which is, you know, at the end of the day, it's sad because you got mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters that are being taken away from their family.
For example, in downtown LA, when they were having that graduation with their kids and immigration went in there and, you know, took the parents away, I feel like that's very inhumane and that's really wrong. You know, that's actually a crime because they're kidnapping innocent people instead of going after the bad ones. So I feel like that's why people are pretty upset right now.
Yeah.
If they would have started out with the jails, if they would have started out with the convicts, you know, people would have been less upset and it would have been more peaceful. So we kind of got to understand both sides.
I heard too, I don't know if it's fake news or whatever, but they're saying that they could possibly even take...
If you have immigrant parents and you were born here, they still want to deport you.
Yeah, they could deport you if you're a citizen.
Yeah. Because people, that's what they're saying. They're like, oh, they're not arresting immigrants, but they are snitching on them. And that's what they are doing. So I don't know about that. I mean,
is that real
cool.
news though?
No, yeah.
Are you sure? Like,
yeah, because the cops, they're kind of saying like, hey, he's right there and shit like that. And that's when immigration goes, because the cops, for example, they went to Home Depot. Mm-hmm. They got there first before the you know, the immigration ICE. So they know what's going to happen, you know, and they're just there to kind of protect. They're always going to protect the government. They're not there to protect the people.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, you know.
I seen this video. You know, this lady is arguing with this one sheriff, and she's telling him, "What are you guys doing to protect us? ICE is right there grabbing people." And he was telling her, "Well, we can't do nothing. You know, we just protect the county. They're federal agents. They could go anywhere." And she kept on telling him, "Well, he's in your county. What are you going to do?" And he was like, "I can't do nothing." I don't know which side is right. I don't know if the cop is right or if the lady is like, you know, getting somewhere. You know, you guys let me know down in the comments. You know, I'm not saying either side is right. I'm just, you know, I don't know which one is true. You know, the sheriffs, the cops, it is their county. ICE, they're federal agents. So do they connect with each other? Are they helping out each other? You know, you told me earlier off the podcast that cops are snitching on immigrants and letting them know, like, hey, this person right here, get this person. So you said you've seen a lot of like videos on
videos about
like that.
Videos about cops, you know, damaging their own property, like cop cars, you know, making it seem like it's not a peaceful protest. But again, we weren't there. We're not there. We only see what we see on the internet. Mm-hmm. So that's why, you know, we'll leave it to people to decide, you know, who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, also too, what I've been seeing too is a lot of those cops, they've been shooting news reporters.
Yes.
Like there's a video, literally this one woman, she's being recorded for the news, and you can see the cop literally from behind her just look at her and Like
Purposely.
purposely.
I seen another
Purposely.
video of a guy asking an officer for his name, and he just shoots him on the chest, you know?
Damn.
So, you know, that's why I think people are very angry at the moment.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, that's what we see on the internet.
I get it. You know, I get it. People are angry, you know, but it still don't riot. It's just proving the point
Yeah.
to them. You know, they already want to put the name. We're bad, you know, we're selling drugs or we shouldn't be here. You know, we're just savages. Doing the riots is just proving that to them.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has the right to protest. Just do it the right way. Don't give the raza more of a bad image. You know, I feel like that's what we're getting to.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that, you know? Stop giving us a worse image than we already have.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we already experience racism on the daily, you could say.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's sad, you know, seeing all these humble people getting deported. It's really sad, bro, because you just see these people crying, you know, seeing their dad getting taken away. And it's like, you kind of feel for them, you know, because you put yourself in those shoes and you're like, damn, what if that was my pops?
Yeah.
I'd be balling too, bro.
They're entering
Like,
construction sites, you know, people that are building this country, people that are, you know,
helping,
they're the backbone of this country, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people are not going to work as hard as them.
The vegetables we get, bro, like it's from our heritage.
Yeah.
The workers and everything. Most restaurants, everything, cooking, you know, it's from our heritage. You take away all of that, where's the United States going to be?
Yeah.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
crazy.
Everybody says they're taking away our jobs, but I don't even want to do that job. You feel me?
Exactly.
Like, so
Yeah.
they're not taking away no jobs from me.
Yeah.
I'm a barber. I like being under the AC. You know, I like talking to people. You know, I like taking an hour lunch.
Yeah.
Stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I mean,
No, yeah.
we
You know,
need them for sure, you know, like, and then right now too, I think the Mexican culture needs, you know, we need to be unified right now, and then also provide awareness to, you know, our people, you know, where ICE is at the moment. I feel like the community, especially like on social media, is doing a good job with that, you know, but we're falling for some posts too that might be, you know, wrong information as well. So we got to stay aware too. And if they, you know, stop you, you don't answer, you don't tell them anything, you know, because it gets you in a lot of trouble. But also too, if you are a citizen, you know, I know you can sue them, you know, for sure too, you know, if they detain you.
If you guys are getting detained and you guys are a citizen, hire a civil rights lawyer, because you know you could sue them.
You could sue them
city?
for discrimination because they're not even asking people if they have paperwork or not. They're just going based off how you look. You know?
They're going based off how you look. You know, you could sue them from, like you said, you know, just you fit in the description, but you're a citizen and you prove that to them and they still detain you. Hire a civil rights lawyer. You know, we want to spread the awareness to try to help out people in any way we can. You know, we don't want to have people going in blind and just not knowing anything. I know it's a scary situation, but instead of rioting, we should all just try to give information to each other of how to make it better for each other. You know, because at the end of the day, they're going to continue doing this. They're going to keep on continue to deport humble, you know, hardworking people that have no past criminal records. As sad as it might be, they're going to continue doing this. So the only thing that we can really do is provide knowledge of how we can help. For one, if you are a citizen, get a civil rights lawyer if you are detained, because at the end of the day, it's not right. You know, they're profiling and getting anyone that has a Mexican background. So instead of rioting, try to help each other out, try to be a safe haven, try to understand, and just try to be there for everyone. Everybody's gonna need that.
I do feel like a lot of people they want to be together now. They want to, you know, be a part of the protest. They want to, you know, just be there for each other. And my opinion is not just when something happens, let's get together. Not just when something happens, let's be humble. You know, I feel like even when this ends, let's be respectful towards each other, you know, especially we're Hispanic, you know, we should all be good to each other, because when things like this is not going on, everybody, you know, wants to snake each other. It could be at work, you know, it could be where you live. It could be, you know, anywhere. I feel like sometimes we got to stay humble, not just when bad things happen, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want to get together when it's the last choice, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like we should all stay humble.
that's true. That's true, bro. It's a touchy subject, you know, but I think it's a subject that needs to be touched.
We gotta stick together, I feel, and you know it's crazy right now. Just all the protests going on. If you're gonna go protest, then you know just be peaceful, remain the peace, and do it peacefully, and you know put your message across by being that good, you know, Samaritan, you know, and being that good person, you know, out there. Don't cause no trouble, you know, and just stay safe, keep your people safe, and yeah, man. Crazy.
Also, carrying your ID, if you are a citizen, is not enough. You need to have your passport, and just in case, have your birth certificate as well. Just so they don't have just so they can't say, okay, you don't have this, we're detaining you. So make sure to have your ID as well, your passport, and your birth certificate if you are a citizen, because they are detaining citizens as well. So, you know, to the raza, just be safe out there, try to help each other out and spread knowledge. On that note, you know, I know we did touch a little touchy subject, so let's try to lighten things up.
Yes, sir.
You know,
This is also our personal opinion. You know, everybody else might think different. This doesn't mean that we're right. You know, we're just stating our personal opinion and how we view things.
yeah, everyone has a right to their opinion.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, and there's nothing wrong with it. You guys could voice out your opinions too in the comments and let us know as well. You know, what's your opinion about everything that's going on? You know, there's no right or wrong answer. We want to know how everyone is feeling about this situation right now. You know, but on that note, let's try to lighten things up, you know, talk about some other things.
By the way, guys, we're talking about bad habits. There is a real good book. It's called Atomic Habits. Just like I recommended a different book, you know, The Way of the Superior Man, Get Your Masculinity Back. This is another good book that will help you out with your mentality, you know, in your personal life, at work, and just everywhere. Get that knowledge up. And I feel like once you get your knowledge up, you'll get that value up that we were talking about.
Free jams, bro. Giving out free jams.
This is free game, you know?
Free game, man. Free game.
Sir.
That's dope, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know those books. I got to look into those for sure.
Yeah. And if you don't like reading, I didn't like reading at first, but then I realized all the knowledge that I could get from a book because the writer could have 25, 30 years of experience and they'll turn it into, you know, a couple pages. So just think about that.
We're going to do a what if. What if, hypothetically speaking, 10 years, they make robots to do haircuts? You know, some AI crazy robots, you know? How do you think that's going to go?
I seen a video online where they already have a robot cutting somebody's hair. They totally mess it up. I feel like a haircut is not only just getting a haircut. It's making a bond with your barber, the barber making a bond with the client. And it's just more like the experience. Like nowadays, you know, barbering has changed a lot. It's not just like rushing, you know, we make appointments to give you more time, to give you that experience, you know, to build that bond with you, to get to know you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to sit down in a stranger's chair. You know, you want to get to know them and build a bond.
Yeah. No, that's facts. E, what do you think?
Damn, that's crazy. I did see that video with the robot cutting the person's hair, and
It's not as good as us.
Nah, man, it's all about that bonding with your barber, and that shit'll never die out. I think, like,
Nah,
I mean,
it's a never dying.
Think about it, like that was going on, you know, years back. Like the old school barbers, they're still like we seen one the other day.
Nah,
He was rocking.
He was rocking with it,
You know,
man.
his little chair, you know, right there, and that's dope. You know, like that shit'll never die out. And I mean, now they got robots though. They got the Tesla robot. Now,
Yeah.
You know, can't even talk about that.
They can't duplicate a human. You know?
Yeah. Personally, the way I feel like if they do like actually like manage to get it down, like get a robot that's actually managed to do any type of haircut, I still feel like it'll fail. You know, because like you guys said, you need to build that relationship with the clientele.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to sit down and get a haircut by a lifeless thing. You're just there like this.
Yeah, you're not gonna trust a robot with a razor to your vein.
Nah, yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Because
There
what if
could be
that
a
fool just goes
malfunction.
berserk, bro? He just gets higher knowledge. He's like, oh, I learned way too much. Nah. You
Yeah.
know? And I don't think it's gonna work, bro. Even if they do manage to like perfect it, it's not gonna work because people want to sit down with somebody, have that relationship, talk to them, have that barbershop feel. Everybody talking, having a good time, like having debates, like nah, this artist is cool, this artist is cool, nah, this basketball player, this football player, It's all about that connection, that real connection. Robot's not gonna give that. He's just gonna give what you want.
A barbershop is also like a man cave, it's also to get away from things.
Oh, yeah.
Most men, they work on the daily and they don't get to talk to other people. They don't get to have friends, especially family man. They're hardworking, so when they come into the shop, they want to build a relationship with you as a barber and with other barbers. If you notice, our clients don't not only talk to us, but they like talking to the whole shop, once they get comfortable. So I feel like this is an escape room for them,
Yeah.
And this is like stress relieving because you could talk about sports, manly things.
That's true. I agree with that. 100%.
Just like a girl could go get her nails done, her eyelashes, no man is supposed to be there because that's girl time. Girl to girl talk. This is man to man talk,
Yeah, that's true.
I got a couple of them barbershops too, man. I heard about them. Like, no woman could go inside the shop, and that's crazy. Like,
For real?
There's a shop, yeah.
What?
In Long Beach. They gotta, respect the man's time,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No crazy girlfriend coming in like, no, I want you to cut his hair like this.
Yeah.
Bro, we've had that once. Like, some girl came in and like she was the one wearing the pants, dog. Like, you could tell that fool was embarrassed. Like, she was over here like, oh, are you doing the job right? It didn't happen to me.
If she ain't paying, she can't choose for you.
I mean, in the first place, you don't let her pay.
Yeah.
Pay for your own haircut. Be a man.
Be a man.
Masculine. We gotta give them that book.
Pay for
Masculinity.
Pay for her nails. Pay for her hair, but pay for your haircut, dog. We're gonna let Eber go right now. But if you guys got any questions for barbers, some crazy questions or whatever, hit that comment below and just type in anything. It could be diabolical. Just any questions that you guys have for us, we'll answer them in the next segment. But go ahead, E. What if?
What if you had to go to another state and start all over from, I think we're all well established here at the we're well established as barbers. So what if you had to start all over? What state would you go to, and how would you get back up?
I mean, for business wise, probably.
Barbering. Oh, business.
Oh, yeah.
I would say whatever you want to do, right?
Business wise, with what I'm doing, which is barbering, business wise, I'll probably do Miami, bro. For the reason is because, bro, you got a lot of high rollers out there. Yeah. On top of that, it's a party city, bro. Everybody's gonna want to be fresh.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, that looks like a smart little place to go to kind of start off fresh, but then it won't take that long either. Especially if you already established your name at where you're at, what city you're at. Yeah. I feel like you'll be good anywhere. People already know you from all over. I think you'll be good. So I mean, I would say probably Miami. I would never move out of Cali, but
to live and die in LA.
I mean, I'll probably move to like Orange County.
I feel like if you build a good portfolio for yourself, like a resume on your social media, invest in yourself, no matter where you go, people are going to see your work. They're going to see how much you're worth. And it's all about mentality. If you believe in yourself, if you hustle, if you maintain a positive mentality, you're able to make it anywhere. All right, I have a question for you guys.
What's up?
What if you guys had to start all over? No experience in barbering, no experience cutting hair, starting all over with the knowledge that you have now.
Honestly, bro, I feel like I'll be good. I feel like me personally, I have hit rock bottom before, got my ass right back up. I was a man about it,
Yes, sir.
Got my ass right back up, kept on going. That's all it's about. Just keep on going. You had to start from ground zero, but you got all the knowledge that you have now. Bro, you got the upper hand. You know everything now.
Question number 2. Mm-hmm. What would you do different?
Learn how to manage my money. Because when I first got into it, I didn't know how to manage my money, bro. All I was doing was going out partying, buying drinks for everybody, getting messed up. One, learn how to manage my money, not party, not get messed up every other day, and just focus on the business.
I feel like a lot of barbers could relate to that, because I could relate to that, and a lot of barbers could probably benefit off of what knowledge you're giving them what not to go through. You know what if they're doing the same thing that you just said, maybe they're doing the wrong things, and maybe they could shift their ways and be a better barber. You know, and quicker, right? And learn quicker and not have to make those mistakes.
Oh yeah.
I have a question for Eber. If going back, you know, to you not owning a barbershop, I know that you have 12 years of experience. Would you have done it sooner if you knew?
Yeah, definitely. I would. It was funny. It's funny you say this because, you know, 2 years into being 2 years into being a barber, I wanted to open up my own barbershop, and you know, I would have been 10 years already being an owner. And yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, if you have that idea in your mind and you actually do go and look for a place, because I did go look for a place, and I was just like, damn, like, can I do this? Like, can I, you know, and I want to go ahead and did it with, you know, my partners that were at the time, and you know, we spoke about that. But
yeah,
before that, I went looked for a spot, and you know, I didn't go that route, you know. So yeah, I mean, I would say I would have done it sooner if I would have known for sure. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely say if you were thinking about doing it, just do it, you know, because it's gonna be that much better. Like when you do it. Like,
Was it the right moment for you when you did it, or did you just throw yourself?
You know what? I wouldn't change anything though. I feel like it happens for a reason, and you know, you gain that knowledge, and I gained a lot of knowledge, you know, with steps I took, you know, early on in my barber career, and yeah, I mean, 4 years now in the barbershop, and it's going good. I think it's perfect timing, really.
Was there any people that would try to put your dreams down?
Oh yeah, I mean, at the barbershops that I've always worked at, you know, I got kicked out once, you know, by not even the owner. It was a barber, just because, you know, hated on me and didn't like the way I looked, and you know, it was like a shop in Southgate, so it was a little hood.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say people for sure hate on you. You know, and sometimes I feel like some of the owners they kind of hate on you sometimes because you know you're doing better than them, and you know, I definitely I've been through it, and I, you know, now being an owner, I don't want any of my barbers to feel like, you know, like that, you know, how I felt at one point, you know.
Yeah.
I want them to feel, you know, good about it.
So when you were going through that, how were you able to overcome the hate? You know, all the put downs.
Just kept going, bro. Like, you just kept going, and you just block all that negativity, all that hate, because it was no good for me, you know. But I was happy that I got over that, because it just made me a whole better person, and I was able to be myself behind that chair. You know, sometimes when you got that hate on you, you know, it's hard. It's hard to be yourself. It's hard. You're somebody else, you know.
Yeah. You're
trying to make the people that hate you like you, and you're making them like you by doing stuff that you don't want to do, and it just makes you uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, just overcome it just by just blocking all that negativity out, for sure.
Was there anyone that gave you any good advice at the moment?
At the moment, not that many people were there for me, man. That's the thing, you know, and it's hard, you know. It's hard to, you know, when you don't have anybody to give you that advice, you know. So that's what I just try to do now, empower everybody and all the barbers that, you know, are starting off, you know, especially, and you know, just try to help them out, you know, and don't let them make the same mistakes I made.
Yeah, we spread a lot of knowledge. I hope you guys thought so too, and you guys got something out of this episode. You know, we want to welcome JV and just say thank you for the knowledge that, you know, you brought in for this segment as well.
Appreciate you guys.
No, yeah, for sure. And
thank you guys for your knowledge, you know.
Oh no, yeah, always, bro. Free game, you know, free gems, free game, you know.
That's what we're here for. We're here to help people out, you know.
Yeah.
Not only just the podcast, but if you guys could learn anything from us, we're here. If you guys have any questions about barbering, you know, we all have experience. We all have personal experiences.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Stay tuned, and yeah, we'll have a special guest for you guys. You guys heard it first right here at Cut It Up Podcast. Let's go.
Let's cut it up.